Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's event. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laura Dillon from MS Dynamics World, and we're here today for a session all about 3 simple steps your business can take to embrace the future of B2B e-commerce. Our presenters are Patrick Fuzzarini and Rob Cook of k-ecommerce. It's my pleasure to welcome them here with us today. As we get started, please know that we do welcome your questions. Please feel free to type those in at any time during the presentation in your GoToWebinar dashboard, and Patrick and Rob and his team will be reviewing those and getting back to you directly. So without any further delay, I'm going to hand things off to Rob to get us started.
Thank you, Laura. So as Laura had mentioned, we're going to really cover the simple steps that businesses can take to embrace the future of wholesale distribution, manufacturing, or what's more commonly known as B2B e-commerce. My name is Rob Cook. I am the Senior Business Development Manager here at k-ecommerce, and I really focus on customers' journeys when they are looking to embrace online platforms to be able to automate the messaging and the sales to their clients. And I am also joined here by my colleague, Patrick.
Hi, everyone. My name is Patrick Fuzzarini, and I am a solution engineer here at k-ecommerce, and I'm charged with leading the discovery and demo process with our prospective customers, really to ensure that our solution is a good fit for their e-commerce needs. And so I support the sales team, including Rob Cook here, by developing solutions to respond to critical business needs that our prospective customers may have.
So on the agenda today, we're really going to focus on what your clients are expecting on an online platform. Today's B2B buyers are also B2C consumers. They're used to that Amazon-like look and feel. We need to incorporate that when we look at doing B2B environments. We're also going to focus on why self-service is one of the many tools sales reps can utilize, and it has to be incorporated for the future. And we're also then finally going to look at the critical processes and best practices to consider with your Microsoft Dynamics e-commerce integration. Now, when we look at the industry has made a huge change. And by industry, I mean the e-commerce industry. I've been in the integrated e-commerce world now for the better part of a decade, and in the early time of my tenure here, the majority of the web inquiries bolted directly on top of Microsoft Dynamics that we saw were almost 80 to 90% B2C. Starting about 5 or 6 years ago, that shifted. And what the big shift was were wholesale distribution or manufacturing companies started investing very heavily in automating their business-to-business sales process online. As you can see here, this is the top priority for many senior managers out there, as there's a very large opportunity to invest in an e-commerce solution to make it easier for your clients to do business with you. Now, the reason why that companies are looking to invest, because this industry is increasing. The business-to-business online automated ordering is increasing, and it's increasing very heavily. You can see from 2014 up to next year, there was an increase by almost 300%. The vast majority of this increase is being driven by business-to-business automation on the e-commerce side of it. You have your Goliaths like Amazon, still eBay these days, and companies that have their own B2C environments that still hold a large part of the pie. But also these days, you're having many more individual businesses, the distributors, the wholesalers, and the manufacturers are investing very heavily, and that investment is causing a lot more transactions to go through the web, where traditionally they would have went through an email or an in-person handshake or over a phone or a trade show.
And so with that in mind, we've decided to break down the must-haves for the future of B2B e-commerce. And we did it in 3 main points to what Rob was mentioning before. One is going to be the user experience, because we're in a customer-centric era. And we know that a satisfied customer is without question the #1 element that companies who are gearing towards the future are looking towards if they haven't done so already. The second one, self-service and different sales tools that we can empower your sales reps with. Because people love to have visibility into their own accounts, and they like to consult that information whenever and however they please. And so self-service being only one of the many sales tools that sales reps can take advantage of to maximize their sales. And then finally, the integration. So this part here, of course, is so key because there's so much to do these days with so little time. And so companies of the future save time whenever they can by automating repetitive processes and eliminating any human error that occurs. So we'll start off in the UX. Your customers' habits are changing due to their growing relationship with technology in their daily lives. The way that your customers make a purchase is changing, and therefore the standards that they expect from their e-commerce experience needs to follow suit.
And this is mirrored through the whole organization. An e-commerce solution really affects everyone. And that changes, the genesis of that change is typically owned by the marketing team. So when we're looking at the marketing team, they're really the drivers of that UX. They're the drivers of making that impression on the customer, and they're the drivers of providing the right information, providing the ability to do business with the client that does affect the whole organization. So the goal of a marketing team, typically when you're looking at an e-commerce solution, is providing the information, but also providing it in an appealing way. And that information also needs to be accurate and up to date. And it has to give them a seamless experience. No matter if they're on a cell phone, no matter if they're on a desktop or a tablet, anywhere in the world with any device or any browser, it needs to work, and it needs to work flawlessly. The challenges of the marketing team typically is managing all the information coming from different places. In our case, and really the focus of our company is bolting directly onto the Microsoft Dynamics ERP. By doing that, we're able to leverage the information that the marketing team needs to give that information to the customers accurately and quickly. The marketing team needs to be able to focus on adding new product, adding new banners, adding the look and feel, or changing the UX on the fly. And that also flows down to marketing. And what I mean by that is managing promotions, things like discounts, rebates, buy get specials, things like that. When we're looking at the critical features that the marketing team is demanding, is utilizing one platform. And what I mean by that is a single partner rather than multiple vendors. What you see out in the industry when you see the big marketing e-commerce companies like Magento or Shopify or BigCommerce is that they're taking the shotgun approach. They're blasting their solution out there, and then they are depending on their market and their partner community to really supply the services to their platform. And what happens is that nobody's guaranteeing upward compatibility at that point. You're going out and you're getting a Magento store that ranges anywhere from a couple $1,000s a year up to $30,000 a year. You're working with a third-party agency, and then you're bringing in multiple partners or multiple vendors, excuse me, to be able to provide a rounded solution. We took the other approach. We allow our customers to work with one platform supported by one company, and we are able to provide a partnership rather than that vendor. What that allows us to do is guarantee upward compatibility and to be able to quickly change when the customer needs to change. Another critical e-commerce feature for the marketing group is the web store analytics, to be able to see who's on the website, where they came from, where they're spending time, or where they might be getting held up. And then obviously, every marketer wants to upsell and cross-sell. So when it comes to, an antidote here, when the marketing team is focusing on the e-commerce solution, they're trying to change a mindset. And you do that with education, with promotion. They're trying to change customer habits. The traditional means of ordering through over the phone or through an email or in person, we can automate that. Especially in today's climate, customers and businesses are focusing on doing their business 10 to 12 hours a day. When they need to order from their vendors, it'd be nice to be able to do that at 10 o'clock at night or on a holiday or on a weekend. So we need to be able to give the customers what they need anytime they need it.
Now, in today's day and age, it's rare to find someone who hasn't shopped online before. If not for business, then at least for their own lives as daily consumers. But because this population is so used to online shopping for their day-to-day living, well, then that sets higher standards and higher expectations when they're buying for their businesses. And so B2B customers demand that same user experience that they receive when shopping for themselves. B2B commerce websites have moved so far past simple part number ordering. Customers expect things like an attractive design that we've been talking about, that user experience, simple, fast navigation that leads to efficient ordering, content-rich product details, things like videos, maybe PDFs, user manuals, different specifications, and of course, maybe purchase lists, wish lists, the list goes on. Ensuring that a B2B e-commerce platform offers its customers the experience that they're accustomed to demonstrates a few things. Well, first, that the company's listening to the current market and to its customers. It's a stance that lets your customers know that you're listening to them and you're looking out for their benefit. Now, naturally, the company's image, reputation, and eventually sales and business growth result from positive customer experiences, and I think we can all attest to that. Now, the mobility of information refers to a mobile-friendly site, but more specifically to the accessibility of this type of information. Even today, in a smartphone-dominant culture, we find that many websites are not yet mobile responsive. Statistics show that more and more B2B buyers are ordering from their cell phones. And beyond ordering online, the mobile experience on an e-commerce site allows B2B customers to have quick access to information wherever they are. They can view products, they can view prices, the location of their quantities, the availability. They can access even their shopping history, their tracking information, so on and so forth. So it's way beyond just ordering. Limitations on opening hours or being on a desktop computer to request a price on a product or placing an order in general are no longer relevant in today's day and age. E-commerce mobility is the key to effectively supporting the growth of a company. The next generations are almost literally born with cell phones in their hands. It's inevitable that the terms mobile-friendly and user experience go hand in hand. And so that means less time spent on calls for requests for information for things like inventory and prices, and more time for your employees to execute other tasks within the company. And as Rob was mentioning about marketing, the marketing teams must therefore take into account the importance of having a mobile-friendly site that's quickly becoming a must-have, much more than it is nice to have at this point in time. So according to the Source Pixel Union facts, users who have a negative experience in your mobile store are 62% less likely to buy from you in the future. A fully responsive website that delivers a positive browsing experience, whatever device that they're viewing it on, will help B2B customers retain and engage.
So switching gears ever so slightly here to the other aspect of your organization, which is sales, from marketing, we're trying to convert the people that are on the site into a sale. We are leveraging the information from the ERP to be able to provide the customer with a unique experience. We're giving that customer via a username and a login a glimpse into their account. So as Patrick was mentioning, allowing customers to have the self-sufficiency of coming out to a website changes the sales team. It changes from simple order takers and support team to more of a strategic account manager, allowing customers to have that information at their fingertips frees up the internal staff to be hunters instead of farmers. Now, when we look at an e-commerce solution specifically geared towards the sales team, the goal of a sales organization when it comes to e-commerce is ease of information. It's going out and finding those specific opportunities and converting those opportunities into revenue and exceeding the revenue goals. Some of the challenges is typically when you look at an e-commerce solution, the information that's driving it is disjointed, meaning that some people like to say siloed. Some of the information is in Excel templates, some of the information is in the ERP, and some of the information, like credit card information, is in a third-party website. Allowing the web platform to leverage all of that information seamlessly connected through the ERP is very, very important and is one of the biggest challenges our clients typically have when they come to us. Now, when we talk about the features of an e-commerce solution when it comes to the sales team, the post-sale service, things like order status, things like tracking information, and account information is very, very important. Integrations out to Amazon, either let it be fulfilled by Amazon FBA or fulfilled by merchant. And allowing the sales team members to be able to support clients when they do go through traditional means, a la the phone call, the email, the fax, the in-person, the trade show. We can put the sales team, let it be a customer service person, inside or outside sales rep, into the same platform that the customers are using. Someone calls in, they want to know a quantity available, they want to know their pricing. Instead of going into Microsoft Dynamics, we can put the sales team in the same platform as the customers are using with their own username and password, so we can permission base who they can actually manage when they call in. This is accessible anywhere in the world with a smartphone or a tablet or a desktop, and is not user licensed, meaning it's not seat licensed.
So at this point in time, we've entered that second bucket, the self-service and sales tools for your sales team, creating sales leverage. I think we can all agree to the fact that self-service is without question the way of the future. Look at online banking. Everybody in this room today has probably at some point or another consulted their bank accounts online simply because it's so easy to do so. It's so simple to pay for your statements online, to view your account whenever you want at any point in time. The nature of being free to review this type of information is simply a desirable thing of not having to get out of your living room to do so. And so the same should apply for your e-commerce platform. It's critical here to leverage business or leverage sales, use sales leverage for your e-commerce platform in general. So it's not just an order process tool, it's really a sales tool. Now, each of your customers shops in a different way. Some prefer to browse your offerings, others know exactly what they want to purchase, be it by part number, by title, description. And they want to be in there and out of there as quick as possible. So it's critical to cater to all these different types of buyers by giving them their choice of preferred method to shop online, offering them the different tools so that they can maximize based on their buying habits. They can do things like maybe order off of a previous order, advanced searches, maybe even, as I mentioned, part number, quantity searches. It's all just the tip of the iceberg. Now, self-service is also about giving more information to your customers. They don't want to have to call you to find out whether or not a product has been fulfilled or not, whether an order has been placed. They want autonomy. They want to be able to access info quickly, things around order history, current status of their order, tracking number, invoices, for past references, of course, and so on and so forth. It goes much further than simply allowing customers to place orders online. As I said, it's about paying invoices online as well. And so something like a payment solution incorporated to an e-commerce platform enables a truly unified commerce experience. The finance department will have reduced workload, and this will further reduce operational costs associated with, for example, managing the accounts receivable. And so less work for your finance department, which always pleases a business leader who's looking to lower costs around their organization. Now, in a world where technology seems to be to favor optimization and autonomy, it's really here that it goes without saying that we need to equip our sales reps, and we need to get them away from the idea of paper catalogs and move them towards a fully digital product catalog. That sort of thing will equip your internal and external representatives via a sales portal that Rob was mentioning, really designed to foster and support sales growth. When we think of the future of B2B e-commerce, it's not a sales rep that has maybe some paper catalogs that they're passing out. It's the image of a salesperson equipped with only a tablet, a laptop, or even a mobile device, and is able to access a sales portal within their own e-commerce platform that allows them to present to the customer the company's products, the company's frequently asked questions, about us page, anything you want directly to the customer from anywhere in the world. They can be on the spot, as Rob mentioned, at a trade show. It really doesn't matter. This allows your sales team to present new products, to negotiate, to change pricing on the fly, even to impersonate that customer within one line, one type of account. Now, I already mentioned the idea of customers using self-service to get the info themselves, but this same sales portal that we're talking about will also allow internal reps to respond to any calls that do come in from customers, even though if they decide not to opt for that self-service option. Things about asking about orders, invoices, any of that information. Originally, again, as Rob said, you'd have to go into the ERP, you'd have to go into Dynamics to make those types of, to get that type of information, but now it can all be done through another avenue, that being the sales portal or the e-commerce site that's fully integrated, of course, with Dynamics. So this means, at the end of the day, a more efficient sales and customer service teams. It means an IT manager who's assured that there is no security issues, and lastly, a more cost-effective alternative.
Now let's talk about the finance team. How are we going to get paid? Utilizing a solution that allows customers to pay via a credit card, or pay via a credit card or an ACH or an EFT in some parts of the world post-sale is very, very important. So we need to optimize, that order to cash process. We need to reduce or eliminate the costly mistakes of fat fingering the wrong number in back office into someone's website or a touchpad, and providing a self-service tool for the accounts receivable people to be able to use inside of the ERP or online. The challenges of that is ensuring accuracy of negotiated customer levels, which is alleviated by the integration with the ERP, access to timely information and accurate business information, once again alleviated by the ERP integration, and handling multiple payment providers. Now, when we talk about the critical e-commerce features, it all comes down to being PCI compliant. PCI compliance isn't something that a solution is, it's something a solution provides to you. So utilizing a solution that is PADSS certified is 100% necessary. To take it a step above that, you should look at a solution that is utilizing a PCI Level 1 certified environment, which is what we have here at k-ecommerce. It is the highest level of payment certification that an ecosystem or a server or an environment can have, which gives the customer the ability to obtain that PCI compliance. Having that accurate pricing and order integration to the ERP and the seamless invoice and payment processing on the web, all very, very, very important critical e-commerce features that the finance team must have.
And now we get to that section that we've hinted on a couple times over. You just heard Rob mention it, integration, that keyword. In other words, you want your e-commerce platform and your accounting system, Microsoft Dynamics, to exchange their data at all times. With the astronomical growth of e-commerce projected in the next few years, what you saw in the earlier slides here at the beginning, maintaining an e-commerce platform separately from Microsoft Dynamics will quickly become unmanageable just by sheer volume. Migrating to an integrated e-commerce platform will save you time. It'll reduce the number of errors within your operations, so fat fingering, and give your B2B customers that personalized experience that they want. It all resides or comes down to keeping your information in one single source of truth.
So wrapping up the organizations here, let's talk about the information, right? The CIO, the technical decision maker, the person that is looking for a solution that's going to affect change throughout the entire organization, all the way from the marketing team to the sales team to the finance team to the production team, shipping teams. They want to make sure that whatever they're going to invest in is going to work for everyone and is going to do so long term. They want to make sure whatever they're investing in is also going to work long term on the product side, meaning that future versions of the platform, as well as future integrations to future versions of the Dynamics ERP, they're going to continue to work. It's essential. I can't tell you how many customers we get from Magento that were on Magento 1 that are being forced to move to Magento 2. And guess what? Everything that they've done since day one has to be redone. Nothing is guaranteed. There's no upward compatibility for code. Any development that they did has to be redone. Any custom integration to Dynamics has to be redone. So CIOs are really looking for a solution that's going to allow them to, grow and allowing to do so financially, meaning that they're not going to be investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in their solution year over year over year. The challenges of this department is really the infrastructure, making sure that that solution is doing things the way it should be done in the e-commerce industry. Things like the PCI Level 1 certification, things like the mobile ability that we had talked about earlier with the responsiveness, and things like B2B versus B2C, allowing those B2B customers to have that login, to have the different order availabilities, things like ordering off of a quick order quick order solution, let it be off of an old order, let it be off of a spreadsheet, or let it be off of a frequently ordered products list. And then when we look at the features, the ERP integration is 100% necessary. Things like a hosted solution versus something that's on-site. On-site solutions these days are going by the wayside. Over the last 5 years, we've seen about 80-20. 80% of our customers are looking for cloud solutions, 20% are still looking for on-prem solutions. We have both options. And then leveraging existing technology investments. If they've invested in third-party for tax integration, someone like an Avalara, making sure that an e-commerce solution is going to integrate through APIs to them. So making sure that the e-commerce solution is best of breed with the Microsoft Dynamics stack and the Microsoft Dynamics ecosystem with all the third-party ISVs that are out there. Very, very important.
So your ERP is designed to contain information, things like product codes, inventory quantities, price lists, customer data, orders, you name it. As you can see on the screen, the left side of that video that you're looking at is going to be presenting the information that you see in D365 Business Central, and the right reflects that integrated information on an online store on the k-ecommerce platform. Today, many companies have an online store which is not connected to Microsoft Dynamics. And so they have two separate systems that are not communicating together. And as we said many times over, that integration is key because it allows you to have one single source of truth for all that data. For example, a new product is added or the quantities available have changed. If not integrated, that means that someone needs to go in manually, update this information on the online store. And it'll double your team's internal efforts and can lead to errors every time that change, for whatever reason, is incorrectly put in, simply forgotten about. And the list, I'm sure you all know a little bit of that. And many of you probably have, discovered this or felt this, just felt how difficult it can be to balance said data when two systems are providing you different stuff. Questions come up, problems occur. Having an integrated e-commerce platform means that when your team creates a new product or manages information about an existing product, be it the title, description, units of measure, inventory, all within Microsoft Dynamics, those changes are automatically performed on the online store. No need to go in, remember anything. You change it where you're supposed to be changing it, and everything follows suit. With all the time that you've invested in Dynamics over the years, take advantage of it by integrating it to your online store. And when it comes to integrating, one more aspect that's extremely important is pricing logically. It's essential that the price of each product that you sell is accurate in all systems. We don't want to have any pricing discrepancies, have to potentially call back a customer because there's an error in pricing. I can't begin to tell you the number of customers that we speak to that are looking to move away from non-integrated systems because specifically this. The pain points that these customers face are always similar. It's just become too difficult to manage data. They literally make changes in price lists on one platform, then they have to go do it all over again in their e-commerce side. And I'm sure that the accounting team can once again attest to how difficult it is to deal with pricing errors on orders or invoices during reconciliation reports. Now, to tie this all together with the two other topics that we were mentioning, we talked about user experience. Well, B2B customers that you deal with, let's say they have a specific price in mind, which is very common. That pricing structure will appear once they log into their account. So there's no need for them to do any weird calculations on their end. There's no need to ask you for some sort of special price. It's all within Dynamics. If you maintain those prices within Microsoft Dynamics, we will display them on the web store when they log in. A personalized shopping experience is what we're after. Less touch points when it comes to determining price. That can prove to be the difference really between closing sales. Which brings me to the customer business. One thing that we can be sure of is that self-service, as I said, is out there. It's the thing that's probably most aligned between the two. Now, really the idea of the self-service approach is to sync that data across, customer data, orders, all that fun stuff. So customers can easily have that data on their side when you first integrate with the ERP. But at the same time, let's say they want to make a change. They add a new address, they do something different on their site, they've created a new order. Well, all that data will flow back and forth seamlessly. So customer makes a change, it'll be updated. You make a change, it'll be updated. And now we get to that most important piece, or one of the key pieces, I should say, probably up there with the important ones, is the orders and invoices. So we keep talking about this level of automation, but it really sings when customers can revert back to their previous orders to see everything ever placed within Microsoft Dynamics. Let's say they go live tomorrow. Well, they'll still be able to see orders or invoices that exist within Dynamics from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago, whatever the case may be. Pricing and tax calculations all must be on par. They must be up to date, and quantities and units of measure are other things that always need to be there when they're purchasing their orders. Shipping and handling must be in those orders and invoices as well when we sync all of that data across. In my experience, many companies that have said that employees can take between 5 to 15 minutes to transcribe a single order. Let's say they're in a situation without integration. So it can take between 5 on the good end and 15 minutes to create one single order in their ERP after it's been placed on the web. Now, in addition to this, up to 15% of those orders may contain errors. Now, you multiply that by the number of orders that you're potentially taking in one single day, and you can see how much money and time is being wasted, which, to our point, can be better spent in other aspects, and hunting versus gathering. With integration, it's really simple. No need to transcribe any orders, no need to calculate anything. In the end, there's really no mistakes.
Now at k-ecommerce, we were built for dynamics. We started with the traditional ERPs like GPAX and Nav in the early 2000s, and in the last handful of years have moved over to the cloud products, let it be Business Central and Finance and Operations. In our 20 years of being e-commerce experts for Microsoft Dynamics, we have brought on nearly 800 clients, nearly 1,700 websites, and those websites are responsible for over $2 billion in online transactions year over year over year. So when you talk about scalability, when you talk about the changes that are happening within the ecosystem, we have to be cognizant of not only the e-commerce functionality, but also the integration functionality year over year. We become our customers' partners for their long-term e-business success.
So at this point in time, with the time we have left, I'm going to run you through a quick demo of the solution. Now, obviously, this won't be in the most detailed, but that doesn't mean that if we get in contact here, if you're interested and would like to reach out to us at any point in time, we get to go into all those deep details, any questions that you have additionally here. But for right now, we're going to keep it high level and really show you, put our money where our mouths are in terms of the everything that we just covered. So here in this demo environment that you can see on my screen, I'm currently set up for that B2B experience, and I'm going to be taking us through a few different spots. The first thing is going to be, I'll show you that level of branding or user experience that we were talking about. I'll show you how we can manipulate that very easily using our content management system. And then secondly, we'll go into an order, pretend that we're one of a customer, and we'll place that order and show what it looks like within, in this instance, Dynamics 365 BC. So to start us off, I'll just highlight the home page, the branding that you see follow suit with the logo, the menu items with the different highlights that I've set up, banner images, some additional text. All of this category lists, anything that you see here is all done through the content management system. So when I change tabs here and I go to the administrator of k-ecommerce, this is where all that backend magic happens. This is where your team internally has access to log in with their own account, of course, which is all permission based, meaning that an administrator versus someone in sales versus someone in marketing doesn't necessarily have the same permissions when they access it. But all things considered, I'll jump directly into that CMS to show what that looks like. Now, when I do so, I'm brought here to the CMS where I have a list of all the pages linked to my website, and I can quickly dive into each and every one of these pages to make any changes that I want to it. So on a page by page basis, I can create new pages on the fly. If you have any static content you want to educate your customers, well, this is the perfect place to do it because you create those pages very efficiently, and then you add your frequently asked questions, you add your about us pages, all of those things. Now, jumping into the home page, the page that we just saw, you'll notice here off the bat, there's a few different page options. Obviously, we can manipulate that SEO, which is critical these days, but you can change your templates. This is how we get that focus to make this very user-friendly for your internal team. So you don't necessarily need a technical background to make a beautiful website. If you do have that, you can definitely access internal tools far beyond what I'm showing here today to do that. But all that being said, both doors are always open, whether you're technical or not, and you can make the same types of changes. So here I would select a page template, and when I scroll over it or mouse over it, you're going to see what that page looks like. Now we take care of automatically managing, that page in the way that you see listed. And so from your perspective, it's really simple. All you have to do is put in the content into those individual areas that you see on the page. So the slider image, the content, the product showcase. Now we take care of maximizing that depending on the screen size that the customer is viewing it on. Of course, we use Bootstrap technology to be sure that this is fully responsive, like we keep talking about, so that no matter what screen size that the customer is viewing it on, they're getting a maximum experience for their platform. Now, when I go into the editing options, I can very easily select the edit tools or the edit buttons on my page and just add that content or change it. Perfect for quick changes, perfect for anything you want to do on the fly. We use rich text editors, so it's all good and easy. But as I mentioned, you can go directly into that HTML if you want to make the same types of changes. Now, once we've put that content in place here, we can see what it looks like on the different screen sizes or the different devices, be it vertical phone, horizontal phone, and so on and so forth. We can change the screen size of that preview so that we see what our customers are looking at. And you'll notice that that screen dynamically changes in accordance. You'll see the menu change, you'll see the shopping cart or basket change as well, all dependent on the screen size of the device, and it's all optimized. So again, from a web management perspective, you have one site to deal with, we take care of the rest. Now there's version control as well, meaning that if ever you make a change or you make a mistake, it happens to all of us, you can always revert back to a previous version. You're never stuck with that one. You can revert back, publish it to your current live site. You can work in a draft mode if you want to make some changes ahead of time before you publish it out, and you can even schedule those publications for the future. Now, manipulating the color and the themes of the overall site happens in the very same way. For this purpose here today, I'm not going to go into details on it insofar as saying that we use, again, very simple tools, drop-down lists, that sort of thing, to maximize the color scheme and the backgrounds of your images, of your website. Now, the second part we're going through here is really the buying experience. Currently, I'm not logged in as a customer. I'm just visiting the account, the website. If I'm an existing B2B customer, I can easily go in there, sign in, and keep going. If I'm a customer that's been here for the first time, we have many different tools that can be used, including registration tools to create accounts on the fly, to request for an account creation if you'd prefer to go that route and maybe put some gates before the customer has access to anything. Those are all capabilities. For all intents and purposes here, I've enabled simply the existing customer page. But once I log in here with my username and password, this is where that personalization really takes form and that integration is really seen. We see off the top in the dashboard the last 5 orders that the customer placed. And like I mentioned, this is not only web orders, this is any and all orders located within Microsoft Dynamics. I can see the status of these orders. So if I want a quick update, use my self-service to go ahead and see whether it's been shipped out or not, I can do so. And if I click on the order, I dive into the details. I can review again anything that's changed on that order, all automatically done. So you make that change within Dynamics, you ship and you invoice it out, and it's automatically going to show up here on the website as shipped. And here is where I start to talk about the different ordering options. The main one, the first one, being ordering again. So for the type of customer that you'd like to cater to who knows exactly what they're ordering, they place the same order on a very regular basis. All they have to do is go to their past order, hit this order again button, and everything in this that was purchased here is going to be added to the shopping cart so they can purchase it again. From there, they can obviously change the order, add to it, do what they please, but it's a quick and efficient way for anyone who likes that type of ordering. Furthermore, if you have a customer who doesn't necessarily order the same full order, but they like to place certain products regularly, well, they can do so with the frequently ordered products area, which is designed specifically for each customer. So we get a glimpse into that customer's ordering habits, what they order most frequently, and without jumping through hoops, they can get to add them all to the shopping cart and check out. Now, the typical way that I always show is that way that we're all familiar with. Keyword search, be it by code, description, attribute, title, you name it, it can all be searched for with the keyword search, or through categories that can be set up from what's based in Microsoft Dynamics, but you can also go further here and make your own category trees that are maybe a bit more user-friendly than what's in Dynamics. Now, when I select that category, you see the products listed here. If I decide to enable it, I can put attributes, and it would be down the left-hand side of my screen here for filters, which would allow me to easily filter through each and every one of the products that are listed. Getting to the product details page is really where we see that level of integration at a product level. We see the title coming through, the product code, the price, that image that you see along the left-hand side, all being pulled once again from Dynamics. So you make a change to the price, it automatically appears here. Quantity or inventory is something that I've currently disabled, but it would be down the right-hand side, and we would sync that across as well. It's really a preference. There are many different options when it comes to displaying quantity. Now, all this great and fun detail is being pulled from Dynamics, but we can go above and beyond because k-ecommerce offers a mini product information manager for all additional data. So you want to go and well above and beyond the data that's stored within BC. You want to add additional images. You want to add videos, PDF files, specifications about us, or about the product, excuse me. Anything of that nature can be added directly in k-ecommerce. It's more marketing driven, so the marketing team can work on that separate from your internal things within BC. And that data will be here for the customers to take advantage of. Again, use as a self-service, as a sales tool for your sales reps if they need to find out more details on a product to help sell it. Really, the possibilities are endless here. Now I can easily, as we've been doing, add this to the cart as well. And finally, before checking out, I'm going to go to the quick order page. But really the idea here is that on the quick order page, we're displaying part number quantity for those extremely quick B2B customers that know what they want. They've used Excel sheets in the past to send them off to you, and they just want to put their codes in and get those quantities. Well, with this tool, they see the list of products that they have here. They can enter a search term in here or the code and the quantity, and it'll add it automatically to the cart. They can import that list directly here with the import tool that you see, or they can go even easier and they can copy paste that. So that's what I'll show you here today. I'm keeping this very simplistic list in my screen. And without doing too much, I can go ahead and copy those cells, just the code and quantity. And when I go ahead and paste them here, it's going to add them all to the cart. And you'll notice how quickly that appears. And that all has to do with our level of integration. So our style of integration really dictates the fact that all this information is being updated so rapidly. And we're not pinging Dynamics every single time a new line item is added to this shopping cart to get the price. We already have that information stored on our side. We're able to maximize it. We're able to prevent huge traffic or load being given to Business Central or to your ERP, any Dynamics. And we're maximizing the time for your customers to add those items to their shopping cart. When I'm ready to place my order here, I get to the order page all in one. I get that customer's information from Dynamics once again. I get the shipping information. We can add new addresses on the fly. And we get the shipping methods with which, as we were talking about, we have to integrate to a number of third-party carriers, the big ones in the industry, of course, to make sure that we're pulling in accurate rates for your customers. FedEx, UPS, USPS. Those are all options to have APIs connected to them. That way we're pulling in the rates that are set up with them. But you can always go further and add your own rates. You can change the prices. All sorts of configurations can be done when it comes to shipping. And furthermore, as we make our way through the order, we can add PO numbers, which is pretty critical for B2B customers, add shipping instructions, required dates, and then we review these products that I've added to the cart, as well as shipping. If there's any tax calculations that should be added at this point in time, those will be done so. And we'd, of course, connect to third-party systems as well, such as Avalara or CCH for tax. Now we get to the payment. We can apply a coupon, of course, or we can go through the payment information. be it on account, net terms for those customers that have it, or through credit card. Now, Rob already mentioned the PCI certification and all the great importance that it has. You'll notice that there's absolutely no redirects to any third-party systems. This is all handled through k-ecommerce, through one provider. We're able to give you all of those details right there. It handles through us. It never flows through your infrastructure at any point in time. Now, confirming the order, whoop, I forgot to enter a credit card. Let me just go to on account. When I confirm this order, this is where the magic happens. There's a few things going on with the 2 minutes that we have left. First and foremost, an email is sent out to everybody internally saying an order has been placed. The customer has received an email as well, letting them know that they placed an order. And finally, that order is written to Business Central. So when I click on this order, you're going to see that we've already gotten returned here the order number within BC. So if I go to BC, it's going to ask me to log in again. When I go to Business Central here and I go to my sales orders, you'll notice on the screen the same way that any other order finds itself within Business Central, that order has been placed. So we're being non-invasive, we're not invasive, we're not changing your internal processes. You'll see that order there the same way any other orders are, and you can go ahead and go about your normal fulfillment habits to get that order to the customer's doorstep. Now, on that note, I pass it back to Rob.
Thanks, Patrick. So I really love this quote. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And it really speaks heavily in today's climate with COVID-19, where we're seeing an influx of customers come to us that have never talked to us before, and even more that are coming back to us that have been sitting on their hands not implementing any e-commerce solutions in the past because they're handcuffed now with the the tough times that we're having in not only in the economy but in the world. So if for whatever reason, let it be wholesale distribution, manufacturing, retail, if you have any type of an online project that you're looking to do and you run back office a Microsoft Dynamics solution, oftentimes we'll be able to help. If there's anything we can do, please reach out. And with that said, we'll go ahead and hand this back over to Laura, and we would really like to thank you for your time in taking a look at really what it is that not only we offer, but really what you should look out in the ecosystem when looking at an e-commerce solution. Thank you very much.
Excellent, Rob and Patrick, thank you so much for that informative session and demo. That was great information. And if you did have a question that you typed in, we'll be making sure to get those over to the k-ecommerce team, and they'll be following up with you directly. We did record today's event, and we'll be making a copy of that recording available as well. So with that, hope everybody has a good day or evening, and we'll end there. Thank you so much.